Is it okay to use this random wireless network I just found? Hi everyone, Leo Notenboom here for askleo.com. It's a lengthy question, but it's worthwhile. My internet connection went down on a Friday and the service rep gave me a service call time for Monday. Maybe. My HP notebook has wireless capability, so I turned it on and checked what wireless networks were available. There are 3 secured and 1 unsecured wireless networks. I'm able to log on to the unsecured wireless network, a Netgear network. The signal is low, but works. Am I breaking the law by using someone else's wireless network? Is there a way to find out where this wireless network is and who owns it? Hopefully it is a free public wireless network. Am I in any danger from using this wireless network? I'm not doing anything that requires a password, and I have Windows Firewall, Norton Antivirus, and Windows Defender running on my computer. What you're doing is, as it turns out, really common. People do this all the time. With so many open wireless hotspots around, it's a real temptation and often too hard to resist, especially if you're in dire need like your scenario sounds like you are. Yet, resist it you should. There are issues. Some you may never run into, but if you do, they can be painful. Your question of who owns it is a difficult one to answer. Typically, if the hotspot's name, its SSID, is something obscure, it's probably owned by a private party. Most open public Wi-Fi hotspots actually have something about the company or the business that is providing the hotspot in that SSID name. For example, if you're at Starbucks, chances are the hotspot you find when you search for open hotspots is going to have Starbucks somewhere in its name. If you can't see that, if you can't determine who owns it by the SSID, by the name of the wireless network, there's really no good way of understanding where that hotspot comes from. The best thing you can do, I suppose, is in the radio world, what's called a fox hunt, where you look for signal strength. You basically take your laptop around and you see where the signal gets stronger and where it gets weaker. But that's painful, horribly inaccurate sometimes, and honestly not worth it. Is it legal? Well, caveat, I am not a lawyer. None of this is legal advice. Use at your own risk. Your mileage may vary, not valid in some countries, whatever. My guess is that it's very likely that what you are doing by using an open hotspot without the permission of the owner is very likely illegal. Now, there's arguments, I'm sure, that can be made both ways. And once again, this is one of those things where the law varies probably dramatically depending on where you happen to be. And even more, enforcement of the law probably also varies even more dramatically depending on where you are and the resources available and the nature of whatever it is you happen to be doing on that hotspot. But the bottom line is, probably, I would assume that it's illegal. Is it ethical? This one's clearer to me. If you don't have someone's permission to connect to their hotspot, I don't think it's ethical. I think it's at least questionable. Now, granted, if someone leaves their hotspot open, well, that's kind of their problem, right? They made a mistake in their configuration. But still, their mistake doesn't necessarily give you the right to use what they haven't protected. It's still wrong. If somebody leaves their car unlocked, that doesn't give you the right to steal it. If somebody leaves their network unprotected, that doesn't give you the right to use it. There is one exception, of course, and that is if the network itself says guest. If you're within range of my hotspots here at home, you'll find one that is labeled as guest. In theory, that is specifically for people that are visiting me, who are available to use my network while they're here. If one of my neighbors happens to use it, I'm not going to be upset, but again, it's probably not the right thing for them to do. They should, of course, have their own internet. In a pinch, again, if their internet is down and they can reach my Wi-Fi, of course, I'm happy to provide that service, but not everyone is, and you can't assume just because the network says guest that you then have the right to connect to it. Is it safe? That's a scarier one. Remember that by definition, if you're connecting to someone else's hotspot, they have become your ISP, Internet Service Provider. They are providing your internet service. And what's one of the things that an internet service provider can do? They can see everything you're doing. Now, are they looking? Probably not. But the important point here is that they could be. And there have been cases of hotspots set up specifically with malicious intent to do exactly that. It's rare, not very common at all, but it is possible. And you are putting yourself at risk by using a hotspot from someone that you don't know and have no way of knowing whether or not you should trust. Finally, malware. It's not necessarily a huge issue, but it is a possibility. When you connect to someone else's open hotspot, depending on how they have their network configured, you could be placing your machine on their local area network. That then in turn could put you at risk of malware that they have, and honestly, it could put them at risk of malware that you have. Firewalls should be up. Firewalls should protect you from all of this kind of stuff. But nonetheless, the risk is there. And again, given that someone random has opened up their hotspot, perhaps without thinking, the concern, of course, is what else aren't they thinking about? What other security measures have they not put in place that they should have put in place to protect themselves and to protect you if you happen to connect to that hotspot? So my advice is, don't do it. Don't connect to random hotspots if you don't know who owns them, how much you can trust them, and especially if you don't have their permission. If you're in a tight spot, go visit a coffee shop. Go visit a library. Maybe purchase a MiFi or one of those mobile devices, or see if your mobile phone plan already includes your ability to turn your phone into your own personal hotspot. Many, if not most, smartphones can do this right now, today. But avoid the random hotspot that you found because you just don't know. For updates, for comments, for links related to this topic and more, visit askleo.com/4290. I'm Leo Notenboom, and this is askleo.com. Thanks for watching.